Hi, I'm John Comstock, and today I'm going to address one of those difficult topics, lust and porn. I remember hearing my friend Sean tell me about a minister who was talking to a young man who was struggling with a porn addiction. The young man was troubled because for years he wanted to find freedom, but he was gripped by the control of pornography. The minister asked him, "When you are in front of the screen and you're looking at porn, where is Jesus?" The young man thought for a bit, but found it nearly impossible to consider that Jesus would be in the same room with him in those moments. After all, Jesus can't be around sin, and his sin struggle was so heinous that Jesus surely created distance from him, right? The minister continued saying, "Jesus is in the room with you." Then he continued to probe the young man's awareness by asking, "What do you think Jesus thinks and feels as he is aware of your activity?" Of course, the second question was easy for the young man to answer. He said, "Jesus is angry at me." The minister compassionately said, "Jesus is angry, but not at you. He is angry for you and how pornography has controlled your life. Jesus is angry that at a young age, you were exposed to pornography by people who intentionally tried to trap you with algorithms and tried to bait you to explore. He's angry that women whom he created are objectified as tools to be used rather than as persons to be valued. While Jesus will never override your free will, he longs for you to recognize in those moments he is in the room. He's in the room with his hand on your shoulder. And what he wants to do is for you to permit him to grab the computer and smash it into pieces as a way of communicating that he does not want anything to be between you and him. He longs to be with you and would move heaven and earth to have you experience his affection for you, as he desires you to experience being known by him and for you to know him fully. So if you hear my voice, I ask you the same question. If you struggle with watching pornography, where do you believe Jesus is in those moments? Do you truly believe Jesus is there in the room with you? If not, why? If so, I want you to take some time to reflect honestly with yourself about what you believe Jesus thinks and feels about you in those moments. Name the emotion you think he is experiencing. Is it anger, contempt, disgust, indifference, rage? What's the look on his face? Don't give the answer you think you should give, but give the answer that's the initial gut reaction you sense when the question was asked. When Jesus walked on this earth, he made the religious people angry. He did and said things that challenged who they believed God to be. Jesus always seemed to be showing up in places they didn't think God would be, showing affection toward people they believed God had shunned, and extending compassion to people they didn't think deserved it. In Matthew 9, we see an example of this very reality. In verse 10, we read, "And as Jesus reclined at the table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and were reclining with Jesus and his disciples." Jesus reclined at the table in an act of hospitality. In the mind of the religious people, these sinners deserved to be shamed, and God should never be found in their presence. Yet Jesus kept showing up in these God-forsaken places with those God-forsaken people. With that, here's today's challenge. Grab a paper and pen and get in a quiet place. Take some deep breaths and then ask Jesus to show you where he is when you succumb to the temptation. Then write down the emotions you believe he experiences about you in those moments and ask him to show you the truth about how he feels and thinks toward you. Now, go in today.